Yeah.
in writing.
So we'll commit that we'll respond to this meeting in writing, load as.
There you go.
Thank you.
Can I ask one question?
Of
So
course.
is there only one person that needs to come in to under caution and have the interview or whatever it is with the just one person with the receipts and everything?
Each individual that purchased. I mean, this is for. I can't advise. I can't give you legal advice, but if somebody comes in, what I think what you'd have to think through is
the process has been set to incriminate us.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll come in for the meeting, Rob. Don't worry about it.
But I mean,
I ain't got an issue with that.
You'll be asked that question. If you come in with a lot of receipts, you'll be asked, are you able to demonstrate that those are all purchases that you've made, sort of thing, or you make
I've got the receipts
on behalf of other people. So, not for me to second guess what the officers might ask you, but they would probe in and around all of that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, sorry, that was my question.
No, it's a fair point. It's a fair question.
So I think you've had, Rob, you've had the email address, a colleague on reception gave that, didn't they? So we'll follow that up within an email back out to you, which lays out that email address for you to request an appointment to come in and then go through that process.
Okay, yep.
Are there any other questions on that?
Not on that, no, I haven't, you?
No.
No, I don't think so. I think we need to have a little think. So I'm assuming that's the way that you're looking to go is in prosecution, is that the...
And to claim the money back for them
Fine, they can go for me.
pointing out for hiring out thugs that went out in the middle of the night.
I think the point I would make is we haven't concluded
You haven't?
our inquiries yet. We haven't made any decisions on any of that.
Well, it's taken long enough, hasn't it?
Only a few months.
You know,
That's good
4
for the
weeks
council.
ago, we were in touch. Well, no, 6 weeks ago now, we were in touch. 4 weeks down the line, we managed to get a meeting. 2 weeks down the line, we're sat here now. So 6 weeks we've been waiting for these flags to be back.
The frustration is that we have seen it's been clear delay tactics all the way along. So we've been given a lot of false information. Getting told go down to the police station. They're there to collect. We went down to the police station, and even the desk, she's seen it as absolute madness. There's no council involved. So we got sent back. I think the frustration is built because we have seen it's been the delay tactics. I know you guys have used to work out what you're doing, but from our point of view, it's come across very frustrating rather than you guys being straight with us from the get-go.
Yeah.
And the intention was not to create delay tactics, Rob. If we talk about the fact we had our last meeting 2 weeks ago, that was simply a matter of
But that was after 4 weeks of us constantly coming in. We kept getting told. Well, first of all, we got told to go to Concord Police Station. They're all down there. We went down there and no one had a clue about it. Then we got told to go to Chip and Salisbury. Went down there. The officer didn't have a clue about it. Which made it more than clear to say so disappointed to see all these flags taken down. And the officers that are coming out to us when we're out and about, the feedback that they give us that they're supporting what has been done by these lads.
I do a lot of social media. The amount of people that are asking about them is just not. It's not. There's lots of side of it, but no, it's not.
I know last time we had the meeting, you said about you was getting a lot of complaints, but you weren't getting appraisals of people saying, "Oh, thanks for leaving the flags up."
People don't do
But obviously, you're taking the flags down, so people ain't sort of saying, "Oh, what's going on?" You're just getting complaints from the left side saying we don't want these flags up. But no one, everyone that when I've been going around helping the guys put flags up, every time I've had loads and loads of people, I would say the majority of people saying, "Well done, lads, thanks for doing this. It makes the place look a lot better. Good on you." And then you get one or two maybe people on the left, well, "What are you doing this for? This is racist." Well, it's not racist. It's got nothing to do with the race. So the left people are like delusional. Yeah, it's all the left people that will be complaining to you guys, "Oh, they've put the flags up, they put the flags up." But all the white people that are chatting to us on the streets, I've asked them recently, so, "Well, if you like the flags being put up, flags up on the streets, write a letter to the council. Just email them a quick letter saying, I'll leave the flags alone," or whatever. And you may have got some more emails in recently, I don't know, but I spoke to a few people and, but you never get people saying, "Oh yeah, well done, that looks really nice." You always get the left piece saying, "Oh, what a racist thing this is."
So I think that there are two parts of that. In terms of complaints, and I won't comment on the political side that people who are complaining might fall on. As you know, we talked in our last meeting that some people were genuinely concerned and there had been some elements of racist behaviour associated with that. Now, you've said really clearly to us in this last meeting and in this one, you are not a racist organisation, and we have said to you, didn't we, that if
And I
that's the
think if you
case,
speak to a lot of your officers,
Yeah.
a lot of your officers will probably confirm that, because I've spoken to a lot of them.
and we have said, hadn't we, Rob, that if, you know, if people on social media were making racist statements, you know, you'd be in a good space to push back on that and be really clear that Bristol Patriots and associated groups are not. But we have seen examples of racist behaviour associated with flags, so that's one thing. The second thing is, as Nigel's just said, regardless of anyone's views, affixing them to council infrastructure is an offence under the Highways Act, and we talked about that last time, didn't we? So when you come in today to ask about the process of flag retrieval, what we're talking to you about is, as part of that, and because it is an offence, that's the process that we legally have to go through.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think a lot of frustration as well. I know it's about collecting the flags. We're saying you're getting complaints to the racial. With a lot's being filed, like it probably wouldn't yourself to put them up, but even in Somerset put that appeal out today about those people in the Staple Hill area, about the lad with the slash down his face. We're getting complaints that it's racial when we know we're not. Yet the people on the other side of the fence, these left, are violently attacking people. We know that was an attack on people that were raising flags. These were people out with blades on the end of poles, cutting down flags, and they've attacked someone knowing that they're raising flags. So you get these complaints coming in saying that we're doing things which is racial and racial complaints about us. Yet no one's ever highlighting the violence from the other side.
Rob, no, that's being said, I'm sure you, the police, know what went on Saturday. And
sure you're probably aware.
well, no, I know there's something about Saturday, but all the Patriots that turned up in that Mercure Hotel, very peaceful, happy to see the police. There's not one arrest. Yeah, all the Antifa side, all the left side that were calling us racist and everything, they had a massive big gang. All blades, phones went into the river.
If you see
And
the police today on Bristol Patriots, the police actually reached out to me this morning and on Saturday to give thanks to the Bristol Patriots for how well respectable we attended. And had to face off against major violent disorder from the left.
Yeah, we had no issues from the Bristol Patriots on Saturday. There was.
But it's just showing the climate that what we're doing is very peaceful. We're peacefully hanging flags, but no one ever mentioning what we're up against. These violent hooligans.
BBC or HTV don't sort of report on our side. You know, they're all on the left-hand side reporting,
That's not nothing
oh,
to
this
do
is
with
all
these
bad.
guys.
Yeah, but it's to do with the police. The police have still got to be involved, haven't they? You know, and like, unfortunately, the police are getting it in the neck because they think they're a lot of people on the right are thinking the police are
Believe they're
protecting the
protecting
left.
the left and the left.
And I'll be honest,
Because they're like,
Yeah.
oh,
Well,
they're not.
We
They're
got
not.
to arrest on Saturday with the people that were causing issues.
Antifa.
Something why I
They
haven't
were-
reported
They're
it
not
yet.
Antifa, but they were from outside the
There's been
force
Antifa
area.
in Yate today. There's Antifa spotters. I've got pictures of 3 Antifa spotters in Yate trying to find all of our addresses. There's
What's
there's
an Antifa spotter?
there's members of Antifa, the anti-fascist group, dressed all in block clothing out in Yate today. I've seen
With hoodies on and masks on.
Two of them come out of Tesco's trying to find our address.
Okay.
These are the sort of people we're up against because our government won't prescribe them as a terrorist group. When America's prescribed them as a terrorist organisation,
Okay.
we're all worrying about flags, yet we've got a militia walking around on our streets trying to be violent towards us. Why is this focus all on flags when we've got these violent people around trying to find our identities and trying to get to us?
The problem is they've got our identities now because lots of lefties were taking pictures of us at
And
the protest.
at the protest, Section 60AA was in force on that protest. Not one of the Antifas got asked to take their mask down until they got
Yeah.
It is a
arrested.
different point though,
It is a different
I know it is,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
different police force dealing with it. It's even in Somerset.
I'd say
Well, it's still even in
so
Somerset.
Bristol rather than South
So
Gloucestershire.
let's just, we're here to talk about flags, aren't we? That's the primary reason.
But I think
why-
what my aim of this is, we were here worrying about flags when there's such more of a bigger violent problem out there.
Yeah.
We're all worried about flags.
That's your-
Why is
Worried about our lives.
on our streets?
So if there is a concern about violence or disorder, obviously there are mechanisms in place to report that to police colleagues.
And obviously, this is the core of what's going through nationally at the moment. So, trust me, there is lots of intelligence going on
No,
about
I know, I've had
everyone
quite a detailed
involved.
conversation with a
It's
few officers
bread and
today.
butter stuff for us about
Yeah.
who is doing what we need to target. That's why we have police officers at the protest and the anti-protest on Saturday. That's why people were arrested. That's why, you know,
I have to say they were brilliant. On
yeah,
But-
lots of
that
intel's
day.
been submitted, so, you know, we don't want anyone on our streets in Bristol who's going to be armed, who's going to cause problems. You know, our job is to go and
Protect
keep the
everybody.
peace. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's our job, and that's what we did.
And to be fair, I think he did on that day. To be fair,
Yeah.
me and Trace got stopped around the corner, and the Antifa were running towards us. But the police said, "Can you stop there a minute?" And then all of a sudden, another 50-odd police come rushing past us, all to deal with them. And we got held there for a little while until the police sorted that sort of issue out. And then we said, like, they sort of escorted us past them all. So, as far as I'm concerned, the police done a wonderful job.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, it's the
Yeah,
other
we're here to
side.
talk about
We're just
the
trying
flags,
to
so
show
let's
that
talk about
what we
flags.
are, what we're fighting for in a minute as a movement is worrying about flags being on lampposts is so minor compared to what's going on the other side.
So we asked you in last time because you were really keen to talk to us about the flags, and we had said to you in our last meeting that we're keen to find a resolution to this, hadn't we? And we talked about whether there are opportunities to do things a bit differently, whether it's something that you've done as a campaign, and you might be happy to now say, well, we did that campaign, and now we'll draw a line under that going forward. That was what we wanted to talk about, wasn't it, last time? I don't think we quite got to a point on
Yeah.
that we're all happy with. Obviously, the weather's turning, the flags don't look as nice when they're all a bit rain swept and so on.
And that has been
So-
discussed, especially within the gate lot. Obviously, we can only speak, I know you obviously represent Patchway,
Yeah.
but there's so many groups across Bristol, I can't really speak for
Safe
all
to
of
go
them.
out tomorrow night, I think.
Mhm.
Safe to go out tomorrow night, but that one day.
So we're obviously we're a bit of a focus in terms of
That was clever. They won't be.
Yeah, but they're Bristol Council, Sophie,
Yeah,
so
Mm.
different, because they're allowed to have their flags
So
up.
there's not a problem with Bristol Council.
Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
Bristol Council's stance on it? 'Cause obviously they said they're
Also Charlton Hayes as well.
Still staying up.
Bristol Council. We're not Bristol
Bubbles.
Council,
Yeah.
so-
Charlton Hayes said they can leave the flags up in Charlton Hayes as well.
Yeah. Bristol Council are being very, very different, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is different.
But it's a different council, so.
So in terms of where you are, where your thoughts are at the moment with the ongoing campaigns, what point have you reached on that?
We would be happy to stop if we could have some prominent locations be able to show our national identity.
And had you had to think about where those prominent locations might be?
Potentially a couple of roundabouts.
Parks, outside
Right.
schools, fire stations, ambulance stations.
So are you aware that obviously we have a flag on our council buildings?
Yeah,
Are you aware that our town councils and parish councils often have flag poles?
usually, yeah.
Yeah. You're aware that we did a big piece of work for remembrance events where there were additional flag poles put up. For instance, there was one that was crowdfunded in Mangotsfield, I want to say. Yeah, I think there had been a similar piece of work that was underway for a different geographical area. So there are options to do things. We can't sit here and say, yes, we'll put a flagpole up on every fire station, every police station and so on.
Well, I
We
think
have
they
one at the
should.
station, the
we
HQ
did-
has a
the HQ
Union
has
Jack.
one.
Was that one in Patchway?
No,
Oh, no,
it's,
no,
HQ.
yeah.
Portishead.
Portishead, Clevedon, or whatever it is.
So happy for a conversation about where we might be able to do things or what things might look like within the within a context of things that are already done and what else might be additions. So, but how do you see that playing out in terms of when you would like to have those conversations, who you would like to have them with, and what that would mean in terms of the ongoing activity?
Well, I think if you are doing an investigation and possibly consider prosecution, I don't think it's worth discussing that until after investigation we realise which direction you guys are going. Because I can't discuss it with my guys. I don't know.
I have got a question. If we crowdfunded to get some flag poles, can we put them in the ground, or is that breaking the law as well?
No, I think the council should be putting flagpoles in the ground.
I'm asking a question now.
So it
Okay.
Because
depends,
we want the flags up.
So it depends where in the ground it was, on whose land and how that was arranged and all kinds. Those are things that we could.
So that, yeah.
Because one flag here and there, that doesn't do it for me,
No,
definitely not.
We
But
can certainly explain how you hang flags on your own home or on a third
We've got
party's
that,
land.
so-
Third party's land, if you've got permission to put a flagpole on it, sort of thing. You need.
so I'm talking
So
like
there
next to lampposts, something like that. So obviously it won't be as high as a lamppost. It's not going to block the light from the lamppost. But next to a lamppost, can we put a flagpole?
it's digging the ground though and stuff, getting the groundworks done and stuff like that, and that. So
You couldn't do it next to every lamppost, obviously.
No, I'm not saying every
No,
lamppost, but a few dotted here and there along the road.
I think my view on
that,
that.
we could take. I don't want to promise anything because it's not within my gift to agree particular locations. But if you had particular locations, we could certainly have a think about what was possible.
even one, I'd say on the centre of the roundabout here,
Yeah, exactly.
one big
Yeah.
sort of, not
Exactly.
big sort of flagpole, but you know, a flagpole
That's
with the
just-
flag out the top,
Yeah.
and maybe every other a big roundabout such as
Like
that,
that.
where it's got a bit of ground on it.
The one coming in from Old Stock Bridge.
Just a question for myself. as
Yeah.
well. See,
Yeah, yeah.
to
Put
us
bigger
about
flags on
people
the-
on
Yeah, as long as it's about a
Street,
roundabout, it's not a mini roundabout.
We've got
Yeah, no, should we just have one conversation?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we can
Right.
start, we asked you, didn't we, last time to have a thing, and Tracy, you've got my email address, if you
Yeah.
voice me an email, so absolutely have a think and come back to us on that, but what I would probably urge is have a think about it all in the round. If you were going to come in, for instance, and do an interview to claim back the flags that have been taken down, would you still want to do that if there was a possibility of us doing something like this? So weigh it all up in one go, because no one wants to get into those particular realms of, we all want this to be resolved in the easiest and the most successful way for all of us, don't we?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and but
exactly.
it needs to be an agreement, doesn't it? We can't, obviously you don't want us to put the flags on the lampposts, which are already there, but
And some of them are still there as well.
Yeah, there is a one in there.
that's
And you
besides
get
the point.
you get no argument from the council or indeed any of the agencies about respectful flying of the flag sort of
No,
thing. So
it's
we
a
are
national symbol.
genuinely willing
Yeah.
to work and try and think about locations.
Yeah.
Not all will be possible. Not all
No.
the councils. Schools are quite often independent academies these days. The fire service isn't the council, but we can. What we can make clear to other organisations is what's permissible, sort of thing, and how you go about flying a flag respectfully. So,
Yeah.
absolutely happy to have that discussion. Not that I'm suggesting
Yes.
it's disrespectful, but it is an offence, and
Yeah.
that's just what that's one of the downsides of my day job. That's what I have to. That's how I have to think. I'm
Yeah.
Obviously,
afraid.
it's got to be their choice as well, like with schools and stuff, it's got to be their choice if there's a
Yeah.
flagpole outside with a
Yeah,
flag
I
on
mean,
it.
I'm not for the schools. I'm more for the can we put them on the
Yeah.
roundabouts.
Well,
or
I
that sort of
only
thing.
said schools because obviously they're not maybe around here, but there's other places around the country that are a lot of coloured people going to their schools, being taught Muslim stuff and stuff like that, and
But that's in every school.
that that's maybe not in our.
So that's not.
That's not nothing that's happening here, but I'm just saying, if there is that, then
But
you know.
I don't think that's something that we want to be discussing.
I think one thing that I've thought as well is obviously you guys have approached us and challenged us about why we're doing it. Is the council in any way challenging the real reason of who has actually started this, being more up the chain of who has pushed the climate of the country like this, as in the government and the people of the hierarchy? Because this is all happening because of the decisions that the government have made. You've got a Lib Dem and a Labour councillor running this council. It's Labour that has caused this whole situation. So you're challenging us, smaller residents, the little people. Is there any scope on the council challenging the real people that have actually started this?
So I think we had said last time you came in, myself and Nigel are officers of the council, we undertake the requirements of the administration, that's our job, that's what we do, we are politically neutral, we do not challenge the administration of the
But you're
government, that's
challenging
not our
us.
role.
So you're
We're-
saying it's
Because we're
political
doing it,
campaign
that's
that we're
why.
doing.
So we're not challenging you, Bob, we're saying to you that the flags are affixed to council infrastructure, which is illegal. That was the point that we said all along, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that there are elements of it where some people have said to us that they felt targeted or they felt that there was racist behaviour associated. That is why we're having these conversations. There's no targeting, there's no challenging beyond those points, and that's why we asked you to come in. That's why we want to have a resolution today.
But my point is still, even now to this day, I still can't find where I can write and ask for permission. There's nowhere on your website that I can find where I can write to ask for permission. Not that I would get
So-
permission, because I know I wouldn't, but
I will send you that imminently.
well, you said that last time as well.
And
To be
apologies
fair.
Because she
if I
did
didn't-
ask you that last
apologies if
time.
I didn't do
This is
that,
the
so
sort of
I'll
thing
pick
that
that
hopefully
up
comes
now.
through on the
Yeah.
notes that were said to come through to us.
Okay, so we'll pick that up immediately.
So we've got the authorisation process.
Yeah.
We've got the process for coming in effectively for interview.
yeah.
There's something else, we were going to
Flag
send you the
policy,
planning,
yeah.
the flag policy and the planning piece.
Okay.
I think those are the three.
The main
Is there
ones.
anything else?
Can you answer the question why this council are asking it or pulling the flags down? Yeah, there's other councils around the area. I know you can't speak for other
Can't speak
councils
for other
around the
councils.
area, but you know why councils around the whole country are leaving them up.
I think that's a fair I think it's a fair question with Louise Wade, but why is South Gloucestershire taking this stance compared to other councils that haven't? So obviously you do an investigation, you potentially look at prosecutions, yet other councils across the country are happy to leave them up, and the actual councils are saying they're happy to leave them up. Is there a reason South Gloucestershire decided to go down this line of things compared to other councils?
So I think we have said that in a statement that came out from our administration several weeks past. I can send you a link to that again.
Yeah,
in
no, we
the
have had
email
that through the first few complaints we put in, we got sent that straight away.
So that's the sort of that becomes the council's policy position. Is
But
to-
you're
is to
representing the
take-
council at the
is to
moment.
take the flag- Yeah, well, the policy position of the politicians, if you like, the elected members, is to take the flags down. So as officers, as we said last time, that's our job. That's what we get paid to do.
Well, like I said
last time, you can
always say
you're
no.
not going to win that
You are paid to
argument.
do it.
So
It's the people above you which
pointless.
has caused this whole situation in the country, which I do sort of feel for you guys, because you seem to be the scapegoats, and I know you're saying it's not legal for us to put them up, but it's causing the issue for what we're trying to do because of what's going on in the country, and it's, although it's you guys that we're doing something which is we shouldn't be doing on the lampposts, it's not really you guys that we're doing it because of, it's the government that is the reason this sort of thing has triggered, so I do appreciate that.
And I think we're all long enough into to recognise from a country point of view, there is division within the country.
Yes.
In terms of
Yeah.
which is very sad.
Sad.
But we,
I think the reason why
we as a local authority find ourselves in a position where, again, we see those divisions and those different views, and we have to try and find a sensible way forward.
And I think
through
that
the
us
who
little
talk.
people, us normal residents, us people that aren't in any sort of power, we're just trying to find a way to voice what's going on, and this is why it started, because we haven't got a voice. I think so many of us are trying to find that voice. I think the flags was initially that voice to try and get people to realise our sort of stance on things, because we aren't listening to any other way, and that's why it went off the way it did.
And absolutely going forward to have a think about if there are other ways that you could use the voice. You know, I think we spoke last time, didn't we, about community events, things that you could get involved in, if that was something you were interested in that space that we can absolutely.
But that's not getting our voice across about the division and stuff, is it? A community event isn't going to do that.
And the problem with things like that is if
So
we
I
put our
think there's
name to things like that,
opportunities too, though,
Not to
in
get your
that
voice across,
space.
is it?
We do that in Bristol, don't you, Fat? There we go.
this is our
Yeah,
problem.
great.
The flags was a way that we could do it without drawing the likes of Antifa to us, because we obviously we try getting our voice across in other ways, like the protesting like the weekend, but all it is faced by violence from the left. I think we were trying to find a peaceful way, something where we weren't harming anyone, to be able to do it without putting ourselves at risk. I know there has been incidents where some of the guys have been put at risk, like what happened in Staple Hill, but we want to be able to get our voice heard and show how we feel about things, but keeping ourselves safe at the same time. And protest, even though we still do that, we aren't safe at protest. Agreed, the police kept us a lot safer, but with the violent disorder from the people at the other side of the line, we are
It's
desperately
not just
trying
that,
to
your
find
picture's
it.
out there now, isn't it? So everyone knows your face, so...
Yeah, and again, a
Yeah,
poster
and
went
it's-
up from the other side the other day, actually naming me on the poster,
Yeah.
naming the area I live in. This is the sort of thing we're up against, and we were just trying to find a way that we can voice how we're feeling, but keeping ourselves safe at the same
I
time.
understand that, and as you know, in our last meeting, we talked to you about some of our own staff whose pictures had been taken and placed online, which they were really upset with, the fact that some people felt that same level of intimidation. So, people are feeling it on both sides. So if we can come to a resolution between us that helps to ease that division, that's only a good thing, surely.
Yeah, no, of
Yeah,
course,
the
of course.
community meetings that we're talking about are those community meetings where you can come and it's about community things, because that's what our role is. We're not here for a national debate,
No.
us three.
Yeah.
No.
That's not our job, and South Gloss Local Authority are not here for a national debate.
No. Yeah, I think it doesn't help that we've come in today after what's happened the weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We're still
we're
very
here,
involved with us, we're still
like,
processing a lot
we
of what went
need,
on.
we need to know what your views are about what's happening in your community, and that's about, what are your worries? What do you want to see change in your local community? That's where your voice is important, because we can't solve the national issue.
No.
And
Oh, you could.
Well,
Well,
not
One
not
person
us,
could, the king.
yeah.
The king could sort something
Yeah, but
out,
he's not
surely.
here.
No.
So-
I think we're almost out of time.
Yeah.
So we will come back to you ASAP with the things that you've requested, which is the authorisation process, the steps involved in that process for coming in for interview, the planning policy piece around permissions to raise flags, and a link through to the original statement that we sent, and go from there.
Mhm. I have got one question. You've asked us about where we feel we can put the flags. Have you got any suggestions, as in where you feel it might be okay to put the flags?
We've set away, and this is only buildings, I hasten to add, but we've set away, colleague directors doing a little piece of work about our buildings from a council point of view, and just having a look at how many flags we've got flying. We don't fly them on every building, which ones we could fly it on, what's the cost of putting the flagpoles in, and the ongoing costs of changing the flags
Yeah,
and what
yeah.
have you, sort of thing. So we're doing that little piece of work at the moment. You have probably seen in the press, other councils have announced amounts of money to do more flags, and people have criticised that sort of thing. So again, we'll need to tread carefully,
Yeah.
but the spirit of sort of trying to find a way through this, we're doing that piece of work, and I'm quite happy to share that and overlay that with anything you think would be a good idea.
Because again, just to finish, from our perspective, it's our national symbol. We're happy to see it flown in authorised locations. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can I keep you for 2 minutes, Rob? If possible. Just want to make a complaint with you, if that's okay. Just to keep Rob for 2 minutes.
Okay.
Right.
But yeah, thank your team
Oh, yeah,
of
of course
people,
we will,
because they
yeah.
were
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
Did anyone go to the
definitely.
Remembrance Day on Sunday?
We did. I
Did you
did,
see
yeah.
me marching?
No, I didn't clock you. I clocked a
I
lot
was
of
the only
people.
police officer in full garment.
Sorry.
marching.
Yeah, I try to keep my eyes everywhere, but I have 3 kids with me, so
Oh,
you can
right,
imagine
okay.
what happened.
Yeah, I managed
That
to
was
march
lovely
and
in
TikTok
Scotland,
all the way around. So
Mm.
I'm very
Was
proud
you
of
in
that.
step?
I was.
Oh,
I
you
was
were?
behind the vets.
Okay.
I just copied them.
So whether they were
I
in
was
step or
looking
not is
more
a different
at the
matter.
vets, I was looking at the youngsters, and they were really, really well.
What the RAF